So here we go. Big Chopper heavy episode. Ugh, it's Chopper. He's so irritating and frustrating. He even starts the episode off just making me want to slug him. Come on. He abandons his post to go try and procure a thing, and then offers credits, which apparently isn't acceptable, and then just flat out steals it just from some random guy just because he really wants that extra leg. And then, okay, this episode's actually kind of cool, and seeing his interactions with AP5 is pretty neat. And AP5 and Chopper actually have weirdly good chemistry together, and this is why am I enjoying this episode? I don't like Chopper. I still don't like Chopper, but he's not a get off my screen character anymore. He's kind of segued back into acceptability. Oh, notice they did it. They found a base. Oh, it's an Imperial base. But seriously, okay, so they're robbing fuel again. It's funny how often fuel is a problem for these people. And I like the way they visualize the super transport. It's basically a tug. Like in real life, we have it be like a flatbed, effectively, and you just put all the crates here. But in space, you put it here, and it's dragging it forward, which actually makes a lot of sense. The only other real option would be on top, which would involve some structural issues, or behind, which would involve some piloting issues. But I've seen both actually in Star Wars, so it's just cool to see the way they did that. So then AP5 is massively, abused. Now, the captain abusing him the way he does makes a degree of sense to me. What doesn't make sense, and that's horrible, but at least there's a degree of logic to it. What the hell's up with the stormtroopers elbow checking him in the hallway? What in the world was that? That's just bullying at that point. So then we find out that AP5 was a Republic analyst who was actually part of the war effort back in the Clone Wars, who was kept in service because, why throw it away, right? And I love his little line. We learn, for the first time, really, Chopper's actual backstory here. That he was an astromech for a Y-Wing back during the Clone Wars. That Y-Wing crashed, and that he was rescued by Hera. All of that just kind of lines up perfectly with what we already know about Hera, with what we know about Chopper, and the two's connection to both each other and their inference back in the Clone Wars, since both were, in a very, very, very minor way, involved in the Clone Wars, given their age. And I love AP5's comment, no one rescues droids. Because why would they? Nobody cares about droids except for the rare freaks and individuals who do. So then he starts talking to, he starts talking to AP5, and he goes ahead and shoots off the restraining bolt, which was a nice touch. And then the captain sees him and immediately notices the restraining bolt is off. No worries, he's got another one on him. Like right there, ready to go. That just says a lot, doesn't it? That's just kind of messed. So I have a note here in my notes that literally says, Chopper has weirdly good chemistry with AP5. Can AP5 become a regular? I mention that because then later on AP5 sacrifices himself and gets shot in a pretty dumb way, but still, whatever. In order to, send the coordinates. He is my friend, and I will help him. And then he's rescued. Oh, thank God. I was actually like, no, come on, you finally introduced this cool. This is not the first time you've introduced a new droid character who's awesome. Don't kill him off, but they repair him. And I like that. No, I really do like that. I hope we see more of him in the future. Also, notice that they send an ISD after the fleet. I'm only pointing that out because, once again, Season 2 is being more careful, more precise with its usage of ships. So the very presence of an ISD actually has some impact, since we haven't seen one in a very long time. Not in any function, really. There's also this nice little tidbit. Granted, I kind of already skipped ahead because they repair him, but he asks a very simple question. How do I know they'll treat me better than the Empire? Think about that for a second. The rebels don't really treat the droids all that well in general. Nobody does. The droids are just furniture. So, it's a valid question to ask. The only reason he is treated well here is because he's got Chopper basically vouching for him. So, surprisingly enjoyable episode. I do wish Chopper... there's some things I could nitpick. The final fight with the Imperial captain was actually kind of pathetic. Chopper literally has a shock probe, but it's just shoot him. God. Anyways, but I still enjoyed it overall. Good stuff, and of course now the rebels finally have their base. Hopefully everything will work out for them at this point.